how it goes. There is this young kid, young guy, kind of like me, and he had a job at a local church. Whatever he did, I don't know. And he lived really close by the church, like a mile, and he just decided that a good thing to do in the morning is to walk, and you might as well bring a change of clothes and walk to church, walk to his work, which is at the church. And so the point of the story is that he's walking to church, and one day he said, "Hey, I'm young, and I have a great memory. I've done this so many times, I can walk to church blindfolded." And he goes, "You know what? Not only I can do it, I will do it. I will walk to church blindfolded. I've done this so many times. What do I need to my eyes for? I can just blindfold myself and do this." And then later on, I can brag about how I can walk to work blindfolded on Twitter. And okay, so he goes and he puts a tweet out on a walk to work blindfolded. And the day he does it, his enemies go in the road in front of him, and his enemies dig this ridiculously deep hole. And surely, because the hole is in his normal path, he falls into this ridiculously deep hole, and it's just feet from the church, maybe 100 or so feet from the church. And the same day, the pastor of the church walks by, and he sees this ridiculously big hole. And he looks into the hole, and he can't. The pastor of the church can't see anything but blackness. And because sound travels, he hears one of the employees of the church saying, "Help! Help!" And he says, "Johnny, is that you? Man, why did you fall in this hole? This is a huge hole, Johnny." And he said, "I was walking blindfolded, and I fell because I couldn't see." And then the wise pastor, he knew Johnny his whole entire life, and he said, "All right, Johnny, I want to help you, but you're going to want to be the one to get yourself out of this." And he knew Johnny could do it. He was a young kid, much more in shape than I am. And he threw him a rope with a lot of water and some of those dried packaged foods that he can make, and it heats up itself. And he says, "You know what? I'm going to bunker this rope to this tree here. I'm going to ease the water down with the food. And when I hear it hit the ground, I'm going to leave. You get yourself out of this one. Here's the way." So he goes, and he forgets about the water. He forgets about the food. He forgets about what he said, the pastor said, and he climbs that rope as fast as he can. He goes and he strives and he goes for it. He gives it all he's got, and before he could even see sunlight, before he can even see the end of this hole, he falls and hits the ground because he passed out from being too dehydrated and have no food and no sleep. And when he wakes up, he scurries and gets some food because he's starving. And he scurries and drinks this water, and he regains his strength. And then he gets back up, and he climbs up out of this hole again, to go out of this hole again. And then, before he even gets 1/7 of the way up, he falls and passed out. And he woke up every day to repeat this for months. And periodically the pastor will go and drop him some more water, you know, and make sure he's still alive, you know, tell him his paycheck's in the bank, that he'll pay him for this time by the mercy of God. And so Johnny is mad at his pastor. He's like, "Pastor, what's going on, man? Call the police or something." And he's like, "Johnny, I believe you can get out of this. I know you can do it." And he takes care of his needs. He let his mother know, he let his father know, he let his friends know, people are praying for him. And then one day, after months of being in this hole, it hits him. He uses his light that the pastor dropped down, and he's reading his Bible. And in the Bible it says that when Jesus left in the New Testament, that he was going to send someone else, and it was called the Comforter. And it just hit him. He goes, "I'm passing out. It's not humanly possible to do this. My pastor just left me here with a stupid rope. What am I gonna do?" And as he's ranting, that's where it hits him. And what it is he realized that Jesus calls him the Holy Spirit, the Comforter. He didn't call him the Rescuer, but the Comforter. And he thinks about it, and he goes, "You know what? Today, I'm not going to try to climb to the top. Today, I'm going to climb for 8 hours." And Johnny, he climbs for 8 hours. And he's nice and tired. And then he kind of digs a little space on the cliff so he can rest at that point of 8 hours. He got a one-handed shovel going on. And he rests. He pulls up his food and water and puts that there. And he sleeps and he prays. And the next day, he repeats this 8 hours a day. And in 7 days, he got out of that hole. And the pastor was happy to see him. And the pastor asked him, "So how did you get out, Johnny? What did you learn?" He said, "When I was reading the Bible you gave me and shining the light on it that you gave me, I learned that there is 7 gifts of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the fruits of the Spirit. And this makes up the whole of the Holy Spirit, in which Jesus, in his wisdom, called the Comforter." And I found out that the joy of the Lord is my strength. And God takes pleasure in the prosperity of his children. But that is the extent of that. That's pretty much the extent of that one gift. And God showed me that God didn't give us joy when he left. Jesus, when he left the earth, didn't just give us joy. He gives all the Holy Spirit. And he called him the Comforter. And when I made a place where I can take comfort and relax and rest, where I can stop at that achievement and allow God to repower me, I was able to go to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, until I got out of the hole. See, the point of this story is that a lot of us, we get into a situation like maybe school, where we start this big journey, or a class, and we start this class, and we don't utilize all of the fruits of the Spirit. We don't utilize God the way that He was meant to be utilized. And as a result, we end up worn out and feeling like we need to give up. But as we grow, we learn to use, hopefully we learn at least, all the Holy Spirit. And that's my message for today. To sum it